Good morning, children. So, in last class, we have studied about the least count and the features of the vernier calipers. Okay. So, as I have told you in last class, today we are going to learn about how to use a vernier caliper to measure the length of a particular object. So, as you can see, I am holding here is a vernier caliper. Okay. So, this is the basic vernier caliper that we are using in the lab. You can see that this is the main scale which is going inside this oval shaped space, and here is the vernier scale. Okay, so this is the main scale and this is the vernier scale. We can move the vernier scale as we wish, like this. All right. Okay, so before we measure any object, we must ensure that the zero of the main scale should coincide with the zero of the vernier scale. You can see here, for you, I'm just bringing it a little closer. You can see that the zero of the main scale is coinciding with the zero of the vernier scale. Okay, now we will start to measure. What we will measure is the diameter of this small tube you can see here. Okay, so we will first move it aside, put the tube in between. Okay, and then slowly we will bring it closer. Okay, so you can see we are getting a mark in the main scale as it is just before the 2. Just observe the 0 of the vernier scale, it is just in front of the 2 centimeter. Okay, so we can understand that the main scale reading, according to this, we will take 1 point a little more than 8. Okay, so in place of this main scale reading, we will write 1.8 centimeter. Okay, after this, we need to see the divisions of the vernier scale, and we have to see that which number division is coinciding with any of the division of the main scale. You can see here are 10 divisions in the vernier scale. Sorry, I'm bringing it closer. You can see 10 divisions of vernier scale, and which number division is coinciding with the main scale, you have to observe it. So after observing, we are seeing that the 7th number is coinciding with the main scale. Okay, so therefore we can understand that in place of P, we will write the number of the division that is coinciding, that is 7th number. So we will write 7. Okay, then the vernier scale reading will be P into the least count. Okay, so P we have got how much? P we have got 7, and our least count for the vernier caliper, as we have discussed earlier, is 0.01 centimeter. So finally, what we will do, we have to multiply this into this. So we will get how much? 0.07 centimeter. So finally, to find the final diameter of this tube, what we will write? Our main scale reading that we had over here, that is 1.8 plus this one which we are getting, that is 0.07. So finally, after adding, we will get 1.87 centimeter, which is the final reading of it. Is it clear? Alright, children. So now some of the facts about vernier caliper that I have not told last time is that the upper jaws are used, the upper jaws which are there, they are used to find the internal diameter. Like these jaws are used to measure the outer diameter. In the same way, the smaller jaws are used to measure the internal diameter of particular thing. Okay, and you can see there is a small rod in the end. This is used to measure the depth of a particular beaker or depth of a particular pipe or tube or anything. Okay, alright, now we are going to talk about the zero errors in vernier calipers. Now why the zero error comes, we must understand this. That is, due to the manufacture defect, there can be some miscalculation by the maker of the vernier caliper, because of which we encounter a zero error. Okay, so there are two kinds of zero error basically: positive zero error and negative zero error. Okay, so this vernier caliper which I am having right now, this is not having any kind of zero error. So that is why I am showing you with this image. You can see when both the jaws are clawed together, we can see that the zero of the vernier caliper is a little bit right side from the zero of the main scale. Okay, this is called the positive zero error, because if there will be no error, the zero of the vernier should coincide with the zero of the main scale. Okay, but since here the zero of the vernier scale is a little bit right side of the main scale, so we are calling it as positive zero error. So what we have to do in case of positive zero error is that we have to see, without putting anything in between the jaws, we have to see, after clamping the jaws together, we have to see that which number vernier scale division is coinciding with the main scale. Here, as we can see in the image, the sixth number is coinciding with the main scale. Alright. So therefore we will do zero error is equal to plus 6. Since it is a positive zero error, we are doing plus 6 into the least count. Least count we know as 0.01 centimeter. So plus 0.06. So once we get the zero error, what we will do? Suppose whatever the measurement we are having, we will just add that 0.06 with this. Okay. So this is how we deal with a positive zero error. Okay, and you can see in this image, when the zero of the vernier scale will go a little bit left side of the zero of the main scale, then we can see that it is called a negative zero error. Okay, always remember, when it goes to the right it is positive zero error, when it goes to the left it is negative zero error. When no object is placed between the jaws. So what we have to do in this time, again we have to see that which number is coinciding with the main scale. Here we can see the sixth number is coinciding with the main scale with the negative zero error. So what we will do, we will simply do 10 minus 6. This we will not do in case of the positive zero error, but we will do in case of the negative zero error, that is 10 minus 6 is 4 we are getting. So that means 4 into the least count, that is 0.01 is equal to 0.04 centimeter. This thing we have to subtract from this final reading if we have the negative zero error. Okay, for positive zero error we have to add, for negative zero error we have to subtract. Okay, now you can go through the observation table that is given in your book. Okay, here we have to take, while we are doing the practical of it, we are not taking just one reading, we are taking more than one, at least 3 readings we are taking it. Okay, for example, one reading we will take for this part, one reading we will take a little bit in the middle, and one reading we will take a little bit in the towards the base. Okay, so like this 3 readings we are taking, and then finding out the average to find the mean observed length. All right, so here are some numericals based on the vernier caliper. You can go through this. Okay.